Hey, good morning, folks. AJ here. We are back at Good Shepherd Baptist Church. We did a video a while ago where we did a whole bunch of stuff here, and we're back to actually add some screens here. So let me get inside and show you what we're going to do. Alrighty, folks. So, man, I remember doing so much work in here, but I'm glad I will tag the original video in here, which will hopefully help. And I want to see how much work I can actually get done today. The main goal, let me show you. So, man, it's just wild. We did a lot of work in here. So the good thing is, this is where we hung this camera, and I'm glad I had a mind of putting all this stuff in place when I was first here. We are going to do quite a few things here. So that extra short cable that I got, SDI cable, that's when I didn't know how to make SDI cables. So that was for a projector originally. So there is a distribution in here. This is a fake grill where we open this up and we ran cables all the way down to that other side. That is now going to be the output for the TVs. I personally would like to run another cable so that this cable will be pulled back through the wall, and the TVs are going to be placed maybe in between 2 and 3 vents right there, and then 2 and 3 right here on this side so that they're seen for everybody up here. Now, the idea is I can just loop the TV power over the balcony up there, so that's not an issue. Worst case scenario, I can do the exact same thing for the TVs for the SDI cable, because everything was SDI based here. So run SDI, have an SDI to HDMI converter on each one of the TVs. The TVs on here are going to be 270s. So I hope the ladder is still in the hallway they used to have here. I need to find out where my studs are and if they're metal or wood. I think they're metal, and I need to get some self-tapping screws to mount everything. Now, the other thing, the screen is going to be a 9.6. I need to look up. I have the measurements, down here of what we're going to use. The screen is going to go in between right here, in between these parts right here, and as well in the same location over there. So I'm going to measure that off, and let's cut this around again. I remember climbing up under here and running all these cables. That's where all these jacks and all that stuff is from. But the intention was going to be like a monitor for the choir. So we're going to repurpose this. I'm going to take this box off, pass that SDI cable through, and that's going to feed the screen that's going to exist over here. So the other thing I need to find is, yes, there's a power outlet down here. So that makes that easier. We got an outlet right there. So this is going to be over here somewhere. And we're going to try and put it up as high as we possibly can inside of here so nobody's hitting their head on this or nothing like that. So I'm going to measure this off right now. I got some tape, so I'm going to do that so we get an idea. We need to avoid that because the Leslie is here. I'm going to put an outlet behind the screen so that I can plug the screen into the outlet, kind of just like you get like a flat TV, and you can put outlets, depressed power outlet behind here and a pass-through. So I'm gonna put the power there. Pass-through will be the Ethernet cables that send the signal to the TV, and it's gonna be here. So that's what we got going on. Let me get some tape. Let's measure this off, and we're gonna do both sides, and I'll know the exact measurements of the screen as well too. All right, so I kind of taped off the dimensions of the screen, which is gonna be right over there. Got a little bit of playroom, but just because of where the Leslies are, it just makes it kind of unique on how this is going to be done. So Can't really go any lower because if anybody's sitting right there, don't want them when they stand to block the screen. Not really able to go higher because of then we would have to replace that whole thing right there. I mean, worst case scenario, we could do the same thing that we did at Signs and Wonders, put a 2x6 or a 2x4 right across there over top of it, and then let that be the anchor point so we could go higher. But it's like when you see stuff like this in the room, you get a perspective on the size of it. Now again, the beauty of that is even with this, those cameras are going to be zoomed in, so it's going to have a big image on there, so that should not be a problem. But I'm gonna let somebody come in and see what they think, and then I need to get my stud finder and find a placement for these TVs. All right, so I had someone else eyeball this. This is the dimensions of this in comparison. They said it looks fine for them. I didn't put tape up on the other side, but I did mark off everything, and after measuring it, it actually comes out a little bit farther on this side than compared to the other one. It might just be how I'm standing, but said that's fine. So I came up here to kind of get an idea of where I'm going to place this TV, and there's studs there, but I'm not 100% sure they're studs that are going to be supporting the weight of these TVs. So just like I did before, I might have to make a faux grate here somewhere so I can get up here and see what's behind there. And worst case scenario, I'm going to have to put some extra support in there so that I can actually screw into that and hold everything in place. Those mounts are going to be here today. I didn't get a chance to get over here, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be the same thing. So what I'm going to do, I was going to repurpose the output that was going to be for the projector. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to pull anything. What I'm going to do is just run 2 new cables from the smart video hub over here and just run them across to each TV. So that would be easier. I don't have to go up under here and do anything like that. And yeah, not exactly the way I wanted it to be, but it's never like that. So that's what we got. Let's take this over here. So I took this plate off because this is the SDI that I ran originally for this display, and I had a box that I took off. So what I'm most likely going to do, I'm not going to climb back up under here. What I'm going to do is see if the wire covers that I have will grip onto this carpet. I hope it does. It's mainly for commercial carpet. It might work, might not, but either way, if it doesn't, I'm going to either run this up under here or just run that cable up make a small hole right here, run the cable in there, and then run it around the perimeter of here, have it snug all the way against the wall up to where the TV is. And actually, I might not even need to do that because it's going to connect to the distribution for the digital wall. So that might actually live up here somewhere. Or I hope it's a power outlet around here somewhere. I can't tell because of the stuff that they have here. If I don't, yeah, I can't tell because they actually do bells up here. So that's where all this stuff is. So none of this stuff is going anywhere anytime soon. So worst case scenario, I don't want to do it. I'll probably run that SDI cable all the way up here and put a small rack screwed into the wall here, and that's where the distribution and everything is, and maybe do a little electrical work so that I will have an on and off switch on this side right here, so they can just flip that and that will turn the distribution and the screen on, because then I can run the extension cable for this all the way to right there, because there's where the outlet is. So run the power cables down the wall right here, plug it into the surge protector that's going to be here to protect the screen and the distribution and the SDI to HDMI converter right here. Do an outlet or some type. Yeah, I'll probably tap off of that outlet, bring it over here, make another outlet over here, or tap off of that one, whichever one is closer, and then go from there. So next thing I need to do is take the ladder and go in the hallway behind here, because this drop ceiling doesn't go all the way up. So I just need to find where the studs are and what type of studs they are to see if I need to get self-tapping screws that can go into metal, or if there is wood, use some lag. Well, actually, I don't even need lag bolts. Most of the time I use decking screws to secure the screen. I just need to find the type of stuff I'm going to be anchoring into, and hopefully this will make this a lot easier to do in the future when the stuff gets here. Now, before I get up here, there is an outlet on the other side of this wall. So worst case scenario, it is kind of high up, but I could either reposition that outlet or at least make another outlet off of that will go up here where that screen is going to be. But anyway, let's go up here and let's see what type of stud work we got going on up here. Come on now. Metal. Okay, that's not a problem. I just need to make sure we mark off how everything is, and we should be good. And where is that electrical going from? So as you can see, ooh, I don't want to walk up there. So this will be good to screw into, so that's not a problem. I don't need to do any supports on these. Let me measure these off, but we should be good because it's right on the other side of this wall. So we're good to go. And I don't know how that outlet is getting down there, but either way, I believe we're good to go from this place for what's going to secure the wall. Let me do the other side. I'm sure the other side is the exact same way, but it's good to eyeball it instead of being surprised. All right, so while I'm here, I'm doing some updates. Might need to change this out. This is glitching out on me, and when it's moving. So if I try and zoom in, see, I let go. If I could do both at the same time. See, it's still moving. See right there, I let go. See, I hadn't even touched that. I don't know what's up with that. I do have another joystick. I think this is version 2. I have a version 3. I'll probably switch that out. But the main thing, I'm doing updates on here because I think the systems were left off. I don't like that. I like them staying on because originally I have these set to where they do updates around like 1 o'clock in the morning on Mondays. But since they're off, a lot of the software on here has not been updated. So I'm going through updating the ATEM software, the Deck Link, the VideoHub, which is what you're seeing right now, which does the routing for all this other stuff. But this is how simple this is. I've identified outputs 14 and 12. Those are the ones that I have nothing. So I'm going to run new cables here and just run them across here and put in my cable cover and with the power, because there's already an extension cable right there. That's what's going to send power to the TVs. Just loop the cables over here behind the TV, and that's how it's going to be connected. But I'm going to run new cables, and in here, these are all your inputs for that's coming into here. So if I can, you see we have the PTZs, the aux, the front, the camera, all of the inputs that are coming here. So what I did is I just labeled the output. See, I've changed it to the LED wall, the left TV, right TV, all this other stuff like that. And all I have to do is click on what the output is and what the input is. So right now, these are still defaultly set as the main program out. So whatever is here is what's going to show on the walls here. That can be changed. Now the TVs are locked right now, just so nobody would change them. They're locked to presenter. So that's what's going to show. So whatever comes out here, graphics, lyrics, stuff like that, that's what's going to be displayed on these two TVs. But because of how this is, you just have to click and you can change it to whatever you want. So not a big deal. But again, I'm leaving the main output that's come from the program. That's what's going to be displayed here for right now. So just running some other updates right now. Did the computer freeze on me? Yes, it did. That stinks. We'll come back to that. But I'm updating this one as well too, because it's unable to access. See, something's going on that it's dropping the internet connection here, and I have no idea what is up with that. Have some more work to do, but either way, let's open this up so we can get a connection out here. So we're logging in. I don't know what their password is, so I'm just logging into my account. So we bring this up. And let's say we want to have Worship Extreme. So that right there is what would show. And it looks like this is still doing updates, because it just went black. I hope it didn't just drop out. But anyway, that's, if we do lyrics or whatever from here, that's what will show defaultly on these TVs no matter what. But since it's on program, that's what's going to show on the screens. But anyway, looking from here, it looks like it's a good size. I need to actually send a picture so everybody can see what's going on, see what's up with this. And since I have everything turned on, I'm actually going to continue doing the updates and everything remotely. So let me take a picture of this, and we'll be back when we do the TVs tomorrow, and I'll bring you back. This will probably be a part 2 when I come back and do everything else for the screens right there. All right, so I am so glad that this is one of my projects. So I already know where everything is. I know where I left everything, and I did that, the schematic and stuff like that. I'm glad I did that, because I already know the layout of everything. Still had plenty of space to go, so I don't need to come through any of this and do any new cabling. The only thing I really need to do is to do some mounts to secure the TVs that are going to be back here. Now, I don't want to say trifling. I think that's a wrong word for this. Technically, I can put a board here and the TV is going to hide it, so I don't necessarily need to go inside the wall. Even if I get like some white laminate or something like that, that will distribute the weight, I could do something like that. But I'm going to think about that. But good thing is we have a good place to stand on how we're going to do all of this stuff. So it is going to take a little bit to do this, but it's not like this is going to take weeks or months to do. The goal is tomorrow, bring the TVs in here, mount them in those 2 locations, get an idea of what I'm going to use. I mean, again, I can get away with, honestly, two 6-foot 2x4s would be enough, because that's the same thing I will put inside the wall. We do that, and then we should be good to go. So let me know if y'all have any questions about what I'm going to do with this. I will bring y'all here tomorrow, because this is a project that I'm doing, and hopefully, again, I did this in 2018, 2019. So finished it in 2019. So really excited. I wish I could change the cameras out, because those are, I can't even remember if these are support PoE are not, because they're not hooked up to do that. I don't even think they even supported Ethernet now that I think about it. Because if I could, I would switch those out and send power to them, because I think they were on. This is when I started using smart switches to turn these off remotely on a schedule. Yeah, I can't remember if these support a network connection or not, but I already put the ladder up, so I'll check it tomorrow. If it is, I am not. I was gonna say I don't want to run cables in the wall to try and do that, because that would be a nightmare to try and do, because we came up all the way up under here and ran all the way in the back. But if they did support PoE and we went with another PoE joystick, we could repurpose the RS-232 cable, and that becomes the PoE, and then that connection is not needed. So it's not like I would have to run anything. But anyway, let's get up out of here, and then we'll be back tomorrow to continue the fun.